Hey goodies, Nastasia here, also known as Keto Jamaican Girl. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, on this channel I share my keto tips, keto tricks, and delicious keto recipes full of flavor. So I was at Aldi and I was walking through the store and I saw the zucchinis and they looked so humongous. Is it just me or don't they just look really big? So I decided, let me pick up a couple packs of these. The price was perfect. It was $1.19 per pack. So I decided to pick up a couple packs and then make a whole bunch of zucchini recipes. And here I'm sharing with you 3 of my favorite zucchini recipes that I tried out, and hopefully you'll like them too. So get a keto snack, get a pen and pad, and let's go cook. Now the first recipe I'm going to share with you is keto coconut zucchini bread. Guys, you already know if I'm sharing it with you, it's really good, so you definitely want to try this one. So first you want to start out by grating your zucchini, and here I'm using just a little handheld shredder. Here you can use your regular grater if you want to, or whatever you use to shred zucchini. If you don't have a grater, you can use a knife and cut it up. I also attempted to use this machine that I got from Aldi. I'm going to show it to you here at the bottom of the screen. But yes, I got this machine from Aldi and I was dying to use it, but it turns out it wasn't a shredder, it was a spiralizer. So I did part of the zucchini and it came out like this, but this is not good enough for our zucchini bread because you need it in little pieces, you need it in shredded pieces. So I'm just going to use my knife here and cut up these spiralized pieces, but I am going to keep in mind that I can use this machine when I'm going to be making some zucchini noodles, so it's not a total waste. I'm a machine junkie or kitchen gadget junkie, so I just needed to have it, but I'm still happy I bought it. Yeah, so I'm going to take now my shredded pieces. I sprinkled a little bit of pink salt on it and I let it sit, and you see it's already releasing the water. It's literally dripping. So now I'm going to squeeze out the excess water out of the zucchini. This is very important because you don't want your zucchini bread to be overly soggy. You want it to be moist, like a good texture, but not soggy. So make sure you get as much of the water out of your zucchini as possible. And isn't it amazing? Look how much water I got out of the zucchini. So yeah, now that we release the excess water from the zucchini, I'm going to go ahead and separate them and start prepping the zucchini to make our batter for our keto coconut zucchini bread. So I don't know if I told you guys, but I've really been enjoying cashew flour. It's a little bit higher in carbs than almond flour, but it's a great replacement in terms of taste. It tastes really good. So I'm going to be using 2 cups of cashew flour. If you don't have cashew flour, go ahead and use almond flour. Half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a half a cup of Swerve sweetener. To that, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then I'm going to put in a couple shades of nutmeg just to bring in that fall flavor, you know, that pumpkin spice type flavor. So now I'm going to use my fork here and I'm going to make sure there aren't any lumps of sugar. My Swerve sugar got a little hard. Maybe I didn't close the bag properly. If you don't have this issue, you can just skip this step, but I just need to make sure there weren't any huge lumps of sugar before I put the liquid with the dry ingredients. So now I'm going to crack 2 eggs here, and then to that I'm going to add a cup of our zucchini. So go ahead and measure a cup of the zucchini that we just shredded. To that, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of melted butter. This is going to help with the moisture in our keto coconut zucchini bread. And now I'm going to mix that all up together and make sure everything is evenly incorporated. Now that our wet ingredients have been prepared, I'm going to go ahead and add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients, and I'm going to make sure that it's all mixed up together very well. And you don't want to rush this step. You want to make sure that everything is properly mixed in together, equally unified, so that when you bake your keto coconut zucchini bread, every bite has the same taste, same texture. So take your time and make sure you mix this well. For additional flavor, I'm going to go ahead and add about a tablespoon of vanilla extract. You guys know I use the Molina brand vanilla extract. It tastes really good. So yeah, that's just going to add even more flavor and liquefy our batter even more. So now that our batter is ready, I'm going to spray our tin. I'm using a bread loaf tin here. You can use whatever you want to use. And I'm going to put our batter into this loaf tin. I have the oven preheated at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just going to keep watching it. I'm going to make it bake for minimum 30 to 50 minutes, but everybody's oven is different, so yours might take more or less time. Just watch it, and once you see the top browning, you can see it starting to turn a dark brown, you put your knife inside of it, and if it comes out wet, you leave it a little bit longer. If it comes out dry, you know your keto coconut zucchini bread is ready. But before we put it in the oven, I'm going to put some toppings in it to make it a keto Jamaican grill type of thing. You already know I love my unsweetened coconut flakes, so I'm going to sprinkle some of those here on the top, about a tablespoon of unsweetened coconut flakes. If you like the taste of coconut, go ahead and add some more. And I'm also going to add about a tablespoon here of walnuts to temper the sweetness of the keto coconut zucchini bread. So the coconut and the zucchini and the cashew, all those flavors come together, and it's every bite is just so good. And make sure to use the unsweetened coconut flakes because the zucchini bread is already sweet. And this is it when it comes out of the oven. So moist, so delicious. I probably could have eaten the whole loaf in one sitting. It was so good. I'm going to give you a little close up here of a fork full of the zucchini bread. You might want to write this down for Thanksgiving dinner. This is really good, guys. The next zucchini recipe that I'm totally obsessing over is keto zucchini hash browns. I don't know if I'm still allowed to call them hash browns if they're not potatoes, but I don't miss potatoes. So I added some olive oil and some garlic to my hot pan, and I let it simmer to get that garlic flavor in my oil. Then I added my cut up zucchini pieces to the garlic and the oil, and then I added my chopped red onion to it because I'm making a hash brown mock hash brown situation here. So now to that I added some cut up bell pepper to keep that, hash brown flavor going, and then I seasoned it with some seasoned salt and some all-purpose seasoning. If you don't have all-purpose seasoning, just use some garlic, salt, and pepper, and the zucchini takes on whatever flavor you give it. And this was my breakfast, and I've been doing this so often, guys, as my keto breakfast, and it's absolutely delicious. It's flavorful, it's hearty, it's warming, it's perfect for fall. Now the last but not least zucchini recipe that I've been loving is my keto chocolate zucchini muffins. These are very similar to the zucchini bread, but it has a couple different ingredients. So far I've added 1.5 cup of almond flour, a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder unsweetened, a 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then 1/2 cup of Swerve sweetener. And you can use whatever keto friendly sweetener that you like to use. And just like the last time, I just want to get as many lumps out of our dry ingredients as possible. So now I'm going to crack 2 eggs, and then to those 2 eggs I'm going to add a cup of the zucchini shredded as we did in the beginning, a 1/4 cup of melted butter, and I'm going to mix that all up now and just make sure all of our wet ingredients are well incorporated so that we can go ahead and add it to our dry ingredients. But before that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla just to bring home that warm flavor. I'm also going to add about 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar just to take away some of that eggy flavor that we don't want. And I'm going to mix that all up. If you like a dark chocolate type of flavor, you can go ahead and add about a teaspoon or 2 of coffee, instant coffee, to this mix. I was going to be sharing this with the kids, so I didn't want to, make it too strong of a flavor, but I do like dark chocolate. So if you do, go ahead and add a little bit of instant coffee to that. So now that our batter is well prepared, everything is uniformly mixed, I'm going to add it now to my muffin tin. Some people call this a whoopie pie pan because it doesn't come out exactly like a muffin. It comes out a little bit flatter than a muffin, but I'm calling them muffins because I could do what I want, and then that's my business. like Tabitha Brown says. But yeah, I'm going to fill up all of these circles here, and that's the little bit I had left. And now I'm going to be using some Lily's chocolate chips. I have the caramel flavor. I can eat these by themselves. They are so good, and the macros are perfect. Check out one of my grocery hauls. I can't remember which one, and you'll see all the macros for the Lily's chocolate chips. But I'm going to go ahead and add that for an extra added chocolate flavor to our zucchini muffins, and that's how they look going into the oven. I have my oven preheated at 375, and they'll be in there for about 45 to 50 minutes, and I will use a knife to check them. So this is how our keto caramel chocolate chip zucchini muffins turned out after they have cooled, and they were so delicious. And these are all my zucchini recipes that I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.